Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead, right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? Appreciate it, man. We in the building today, the Coach Me Coach podcast with your boy Coach Hayes on the Coach Hayes Football YouTube channel. We got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time to do it. We're going to probably do an hour and a half, which you know that's a straight lie. But maybe y'all will call in tonight and we can get this thing started, man. We rocking and rolling. We having a good time, man. We in the building. Let's have fun with it. We got things to talk about. Quarterback from UVA, quarterback from Indiana, defensive lineman from Miami, and the Gone Too Far segment. But we'll get into it. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's do a quick roll call, man. Let's see how everybody doing up in here today, man. Shout out to Elite Q and Kane in the building. This dude, man, we're going to have the pencil fight. When I see you, my brother, you better be strapped. That's all I'm saying. Don't get caught out there lacking. Bop! It's over. Matter of fact, I pencil fought a dude today. I still got it. That's all I'm going to tell you. I still got it. Shout out to Ant in the building with the fire. LMV, the MVP producer in the building. Participate or go in the 5th round. Ew. Listen, hold up. Listen, whoa. LMV, you might be on to something right here, LMV. You might be on to something, LMV. Participate or go 5th. The highest you can go is 5th round. You might be on to something, LMV. I think I'm liking it because I put a poll up here, and we're going to talk about players participating in the NFL Combine, Senior Bowl, and that kind of stuff. But 44% says yes, 53% says no. We'll see how that works out here in a little bit. But LMV, boy, you might be on to something. OG Kane in the building says, yo, A63 Kane, what's up? Appreciate you, dog. As always, the busiest man on YouTube right here, Daniel's Berry Sports Highlights with over 35,000. Hell, he might be 40,000 at this point. Videos, not subscribe, videos. God almighty, bro. I want you to understand something, Daniel. You have pressed the upload button on your computer 40,000 times, dog. I want you to understand that. You have pressed the button on your mouse 40,000 times. Bro. Yowza. All right. I love it. Who am I missing here? IMAX in the building. What's up with you, man? Even the Coach Hayes and the team. Appreciate that. Motivated, dedicated. Go Dogs. I don't know about that, man. Well, don't worry. We're going to talk about them dogs tomorrow. Because guess what? Coach Cristobal was a big dog on the porch talking to Kirby Smart. Yes, sir. We're going to talk about it. Make sure you in the building tomorrow, motivated, dedicated, for the Kings Talk Live segment. I want to make sure you in the building. I want to hear what you got to say when it comes to your coach getting roasted over there. But we're gonna dive deep into that as well. All right. Let me see here. By design, I'm in South Florida. You seen, I guess, the new Teddy Bridgewater Law. Yes, we can actually talk about that. Coaches give up to $15,000 of their own to the players with no problems. I actually have a problem with that, though. I guess that's design. If you would be so nice to call in, we could talk about it, or remind me to talk about it. But I'd love to hear your point of view about it because you look to be very happy about it. But I'll say for me as a coach, I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, and I would love to explain why. All right, so before you call me a hater, call in. Let's chop it up and talk about it. Appreciate it. Michael Sears, Coach, you broke him down? Come on, man. Look, I took a souvenir with me, Michael. I broke his pencil, took a souvenir. Huh? That boy trash. Matter of fact, that trash out here, man. That boy trash, man. That boy Besula. Trash. Juan, what does Mendoza think? He's is he skipping workouts? Don't get it twisted. 3-star, even Brady, as nerdy and uncoordinated as Tom Brady was, he participated. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. All right. Man, miss me with that combine foolishness. Don't mess up the money. Sit out the combine. Okay, let's talk about that. We're gonna definitely get into it. This man QB. Pro day kind of watered down the combine. Yeah, it does. Jen in the building. Hater. And you know it. That's me. EP95. I guess it's in Hey Coach. Hey EP. Ooh-wee. Hey, I got a question, somebody. Put in the chat. Who in the F is John Boy? Who is John Boy? I'm trying to figure this thing out. Anyway, I don't know. Some random stuff going on here. Well, my camera went out. I guess John Boy in charge of the camera. He put my camera out. Anyway, we back in the building. I don't know why it went out. That's a little funny. Anyway, Coach Hayes is a hater. I'm loving it. All right. G Nice. What's up with you, bro? He said, what up, Coach? What's going on? And Kendrick in the building. What's up, Coach Hayes? Canes Nation all day long. And OG Kane, if I'm making plays and not fast, I ain't doing no combine. Might we go ask Xavier Restrepo. IMAX. The Waltons John Boy? I don't know. I'm trying to find out who is John Boy. For some reason, I don't know who John Boy. Anyway, let me get back to this. A little inside joke. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Start this deal off. UVA quarterback Chandler Morris, who started his career off at TCU, transfers from there, lost his job, I want to say due to injury to Max Dugan. And I'm sorry, I got a funny text. Lost his job to Max Dugan, goes over to Virginia, has a pretty decent season, and now he's fighting for a 7th year. And shout out to Jamel from DC. I already had this in the queue, but he hit me up and said, hey, Coach, this is exactly what we were talking about last night. And Jamel from DC was really talking about this. And the crazy thing about it is the NCAA denied Chandler Morris his opportunity for a 7th year. He said, okay, fine. I'm going to go to court. Now, I don't know what they have decided, if they have yet. But again, a 7th year, we're talking about injury. Bro, how many years you want to play? And this is the effect of transfer portal, NIL, especially NIL money, because Chandler Morris knows that he can make more money in college one more year than he will in the NFL right now. If he was the top ranked dude right now, if he was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL draft right now, he wouldn't be fighting for another year. And I'm all for guys getting their money. But at the end of the day, we got to have some rules set in place. And we've talked about this, ad nauseum, bro. Like it's almost to the point it's ridiculous. It's killing the game. It's killing recruiting. The high school players straight getting screwed over. And again, I don't mind the players getting money. I don't mind taking the ceiling off, but let's have some guardrails when it comes to it. That's my issue. All right. I don't know how you guys feel about it. You can put in the chat thumbs up, thumbs down about Chandler Morris. Should he get, or should anybody? Because you looked at people like Trinidad Chambers from Ole Miss. He wouldn't have got an additional year to play. And if Trinidad Chambers was one of the top 3 quarterbacks, I guarantee he wouldn't be asking for an additional year. He wouldn't be worried about his injury year 6 years ago, 5 years ago. You understand? So I don't know. I'm a little torn with this. So I asked for people to call in. Let's talk about it. Give me your point of view, whether you agree, disagree. I'm all for it. Appreciate you all coming on in. We are on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. I didn't realize on Facebook they had default to private. So a lot of those Facebook views were not being seen because for some reason on the back end, it was being default to private. And so now we are up in public on Facebook as well. So I appreciate that. So thank you guys. And you guys can leave comments. They should pop up here on the screen. Also, Mendoza says he will not throw at the NFL Combine. Now, a lot of people said I put the poll in, should players participate in the NFL Combine? Right now, 45% of you all say yes, 55% says no. I'm on record saying this about the Combine. If you are elite, you may not have to do it. But if you are elite, people want to see you do it. And here's where it gets crazy. I believe the Combine is a very tricky deal. And here's why I say it's tricky. For your top athletes, it can only devalue you. For your top athletes, it can only devalue you in the draft process. You can't upgrade number one. Number one can only go to number two. You get where I'm going? If you're number one, you can't be better than one. Shout out to Jay-Z, Beyonce. But if you're on the lower tier of the draft process and you go out there and run some phenomenal time, some this, that, and the other, it can increase your stock, but not by much. I don't believe it does wonders. I don't believe you're going to go out there and have a 6th-round grade or 5th-round grade and you perform in the Combine and now you're a 1st-round grade. Now, I may be wrong. It may be some anomalies out there. And I always say on this channel, please, guys, don't make the exception the rule. Please don't make the exception. Don't take that one guy in the past 10 years that did something phenomenal and he skipped the line and jumped from 5th round to 1st round. And we want to make that the bar for everybody else. You have to give me more than 1 or 2 guys in a 10-year span, in a decade span, that has broken that. So I hope that makes sense. Sapa say, Coach, I voted no. Mabule, my brother. It's okay. What's higher than number one? I can tell you right now, Jim. Me. Because I'm your favorite coach. I'm your favorite coach. Your favorite coach is number one in your book. But I'm his favorite coach. Anyway. So when you look at the Combine, especially quarterbacks, I don't want to say they're at a disadvantage, but they're in a different scenario. They're not throwing to guys that they typically throw to in practice. That's from their team always. They're throwing to other receivers that's in the Combine. Timing may be off a little bit, this, that, and the third. But I don't think that really hurts you. I mean, those guys know that. You're not going to throw the perfect pass to everybody. They're looking at the mechanics. And here's what I realized about the Combine. I had a chance to speak to quite a few pro scouts as I was coaching. And when they do those evaluations, they want to see the in-person, especially when we're talking about the quarterback play, the mechanics. They want to get a true weight on you. They want to get your true height, right? They want to get those true numbers, not what your favorite school's website says. Oh, he's 6'1", and then they take him to the NFL Combine, and he's 5'10"3/4. There's a big difference. Oh, he's 258. Take him to the Combine, he's 248, right? But when I look at the Combine, and I'll go back to Mendoza for a second, there's a lot of speculation about why he doesn't want to throw. He wants to throw at his pro day, which will be held at Indiana in Bloomington, Indiana. Is a lot of people are talking about his arm and his arm talent. I mean, it is the underwear Olympics. You're not getting tackled. You're not getting hit. You're not getting blitzed or rushed. You know, they simulate stuff, make you move in the pocket, but whatever. Underwear Olympics. A lot of these guys don't want to get exposed. Arm strength, right? Quick throws, read, the power on the ball, so forth and so on. And we saw that tying this back to a guy that played for the University of Miami who was a phenomenal wide receiver. Wasn't fast. He had game speed, but he wasn't 40 fast. And his name is Xavier Restrepo. His 40 time, in my opinion, I already thought he's probably going to be a sixth round, low fifth, sixth, seven. Didn't even get drafted because he ran like a 4.9 or 4.8 or some terrible time. But here's where I have a problem. It doesn't negate what you've done on the football field. And I think that's why I say to you that the NFL combine, can only devalue you if you're in the top portion of the list. It can only devalue what you've done on the football field for the past 3-4 years. Hell, some of y'all 6, 7, 8 years. Some of y'all 9 years. Because what he ran in the 40 has nothing to do with breaking. At that time, the reception record at Miami, the yardage record at Miami. We're talking about the University of Miami, and I'm only bringing them up because I know the kind of receivers that have come through there. The Michael Irvins, the Andre Johnson, Santana Moss, Reggie Wayne, so forth and so on. So the problem I have with the whole thing is, got my text message down. I think that was Nick Saban texting me. You're like, Coach, you are my favorite coach. But anyway. That's where I think Mendoza is right now. Doesn't want to get exposed. And the thing at the pro day is you control it. At the combine, they control it. Right? This is important. At the combine, they control it. At pro day, you control it. And that's huge right there. You make the throws you want to make. What's your top? What's your specialty? Will that stop Mendoza from being the first overall pick? Probably not. Should he be the first overall pick? Yeah, that's subjective. I leave my opinion to myself right now. Now let me ask myself the question. Should players have to participate in the NFL combine? Let me take a swig of my cane juice right quick. Hold on. I don't know. And the reason I'm torn, because I want to say yes so bad. But if I say yes, then I feel like everything I just said about negating what you did on the football field comes true. For example, you guys know we break down the high school highlights. When I break down the high school highlight, I don't want to see on your highlight tape 7-on-7 film, and I don't want to see practice film. Yeah, you made a great highlight in practice, and I get all that. If you do it, put it at the very end. Like, if you made that one hand phenomenal catch in practice, but put it in the back. That's practice. I want to see game film. I want to see the situation. All of that matters. The NFL Combine, I think, started off with a legit purpose and became an entertainment thing. And it lost its true value. I think the NFL Combine, when they first started, and I don't know when they started it, was something, because remember at that time, and I think it was the 80s maybe? Somebody put in the chat. Well, matter of fact, hell, I'll do it. Much as I'm paying for this internet around here. The NFL Combine was started in 1982. Okay, I would say the 80s. And the reason I can understand that is because video wasn't as accessible as it is today, right? There was no social media, this, that, and the other. So you had a lot of reporters, beat writers go to these combines and report back what they saw. I don't even know if it was televised or not, but if it was, it wasn't like it is today. Here's the original purpose: to centralize medical evaluations for teams. Wow, that was the original purpose, as it says here. The original purpose was to centralize medical evaluations for teams rather than having to visit players individually. Wow. All right. And it was in Tampa. That makes a lot of sense. I can get all these players here because that's the biggest thing, right? If I'm going to draft somebody, spend a lot of money, I want to make sure they're healthy, they don't have pre-existing conditions and so forth. And that was it. Now it just become a media frenzy and an entertainment deal. I was going to try to save this, but I'm going to make this not the comparison, but this comparison has been going around. You guys, please feel free. You can call in when I put it on up here in a second. Of course, we know last year there was a lot of controversy about Shedeur Sanders not participating in the draft. I'm sorry, the combine, excuse me. I really wasn't mad that he didn't throw in the combine. I think there were other circumstances that hurt him, but I wasn't mad at the fact that he didn't throw in the combine. I think the question is, now people are going to compare, well, how does Mendoza go first round or first pick or second pick, whatever he's going to be, versus Shedeur going in the fifth? I don't know, bro. I just wanted to put it out there because I know it's going to come up. So I just want to say my piece about it and be done with it. All right. Bain skipping the Senior Bowl. This is kind of in the same realm. It's not just Bain skipping the Senior Bowl. Let me see who else I had up here. Doggone it. I had it up here. Oh, here we go. A lot of players, especially top players, in the Senior Bowl, there's no benefit. There's nothing that Bain is going to do in the Senior Bowl that he's not already shown you on tape. So should they participate in the Senior Bowl? I say definitely not. I don't think they should call it the Senior Bowl. I think they should call it the bowl, the Increase Your Value Bowl. How about that? Something like that. Walmart should sponsor it, the Great Value Bowl. That should be the game for the guys that are on the fence to get that last chance look. Because if I'm a top player, people are opting out of regular bowl games with their team. Why in the world would I go to the Senior Bowl and get what? So I could trade stickers with somebody else from LSU and Montana State and Oregon. So if I'm a senior, I've put that work in for the past 3-4 years on the Trinidad Chambers place, 6 years, then guess what? I don't need another game. Just what it is. I think that bowl should be geared towards, or should be the focal point of players are guys that can make a name for themselves in that one game. And I'm going to tell you why I say this. I've coached quite a few all-star games, and the premise is the same. Every coach wants the best player from that area, right? Like we did the North versus South Florida All-Star game. Well, I was on the South because I was in Miami at the time, but we got the list of all of the top players that's considered the South. And we calling. All I hear is, hey, coach, appreciate it, but I'm gonna sit this one out. Hey, coach, appreciate it. Coach, I'm gonna sit this one out. Yeah, coach, thanks, man, for the offer, but I spoke with my mom and my dad. We're gonna sit this one out. And you know what you end up with anyway? You end up with guys that are not highly recruited, or they're recruited, but they're not the cream of the crop, and they get a chance to make a name for themselves. Because I have to be very honest. If I'm a parent of a kid that's high, why? If I'm getting ready to go to Miami, LSU, Florida State, Georgia, wherever, why would I go play in the state or the county all-star game? Hell, even the Under Armour all-star, for what? For what? Because one thing about this game, injury is inevitable. It's not the question if you get hurt. The question is when you get hurt, and you don't want to get hurt prior to going to your next stop because it's going to devalue you. Shout out to Bostic in the building. What's up, baby? We missed you this weekend, man. Where y'all boys was at? Where the Killer Bees was at, man? So there are other people besides Bain. You got David Bailey from Texas Tech, edge rusher. Keontae Scott. Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson, Alabama linebackers. Jeremy Bernard, Alabama wide receiver. Probably quite a few. And I totally understand why they're not doing it. Because it really has no value. Juan says stickers are valuable, just like number 2 pencils. Man, I've had this pencil since 1987. Ain't never been broken, man. Come on, cut it out. Emmett says, I live in Nashville, and there's a big time discussion on who the Titans will draft number 4, really between Bain and Bailey at edge. They got Robert Seeler saying in his defensive scheme, short arms can be, I guess it cut you off. If somebody doesn't draft Reuben Bain because he got short arms, they should be fired. They should be fired. They should be fired. What are we do? What are we talking about? What are we doing? Ain't like the dude out there with little T-Rex arms. Matter of fact, you know what? Slap yourself. We have to understand that, yes, there's a prototypical sheet. What does that mean? What do you want from a prototypical player at said position? I want them 6'5", you know what I mean, 10-inch hand span, such and such, 80-inch wingspan. All that's great. So if you want 80 inches, and he's got 75-inch arms, we're talking about 2.5 inches on each side. That's going to be the difference in you drafting the dude or not. What are we doing? That's what you call paper coaching. You are truly a paper coach. You are a paper GM. You are a paper owner. Most owners are paper owners because they're not qualified. Not to sound crazy. But that's ridiculous. And back to Cuban King. Coach, you had a show last week on what's wrong with sports. Now you are promoting the softness. Come on, Coach. No, I'm not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're talking about risk versus reward on things that don't matter. We're not talking about a season. We're not talking about, come on, Cuban, you got to stop this. We're not talking about sitting out in the national championship. We're talking about the Senior Bowl. Because the Senior Bowl, let's be real now, the Senior Bowl, Cuban King, the Reese's Seniors Bowl, I'm sorry, it's not is it the Reese's Senior Bowl? It used to be. Might be a different name now. The Panini, is that what it's called now? The Panini Senior Bowl? Yes. I think those are people that make cards, the trading cards. They want Reuben Bain and all these top athletes to be there so they can make money. If Reuben Bain or somebody else goes out there and break a shoelace, because I don't like to put that on the players, so you know what it means when I say break a shoelace. Is Panini gonna give him his guaranteed money? Hell no. Come on, Cuban King. Is Panini going to give him a executive position in their company so he can make up that money? If he blow an ACL, he tear a meniscus, he get a labrum tear. Come on, y'all got to stop it. Matter of fact, Cuban King, take this. Take another one just for even typing that. Some of y'all got to stop. Some of y'all got to stop this foolishness. Slap yourself. Off season taking notes. Well, you can't write it down because I broke your pencil. So you better get your phone and do some digital notes. Maybe you could type it. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a. So to me, that is the interesting part. I'm going to open the phone line here. 862-799-9956. Right here. Every time I do, I feel like, walk like an Egyptian. Y'all remember that? Walk like. Anyway, my bad. I'm a little older, a little gray, a little wise. My last but not least, my gone too far. I said this before. In America. I said the problem with America is we don't tell people no. Also, the problem in America is we capitalize on people's foolishness, i.e. kind of what I just talked about. The Panini company wants to make money and whatever off of that game using these top profile players. Well, the problem, like I said, with America is we don't tell people no. No, sir, you cannot dress up in a bunny rabbit costume and hop your behind down I-95 talking about, look, I'm the Energizer Bunny. I saw this and I'm like, bro, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This guy is addicted to this and nobody says anything. Y'all check this foolishness out.
I'm 39 years old. I live in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm addicted to eating cardboard.
What are we talking about, bro?
This motherfucker.
What are we talking about? You're gone too far. The man said he addicted to eating cardboard, bro.
And I'm addicted to eating cardboard.
This
Sir, slap yourself. I don't know why my camera going off. Sir, slap yourself. Addicted to eating cardboard. That's what we doing. And instead of somebody telling him, no, sir, we're not putting that on tape, we're going to exploit this young man. When are we going to start telling people, no, you can't do that? When he goes to the hospital, they should push his behind in a corner and let him sit there and suffer for a little bit. My second question is, as I'm waiting on people to call in, how did you know to eat cardboard at 39 years old? I don't know, man. The world is jacked up right now. We're in a bad place. We're in a bad place. Got people addicted to eating dryer sheets. Dryer sheets, dog? Anyway, that's some crazy show. I don't know how I saw that foolishness. I was looking at the Devil's Workshop. That's what I call Twitter. It's the Devil's Workshop. We got to tell people no. That boy, A63 said, what the? That can't be real. I hope it's not. E. Brown said, what? That's for clicks. No, that's for cardboard, my brother. See? Right here. See, Q McCain, you part of the problem. You part of the problem right here. Did he put seasoning at least? See? You part of the problem. Max, you part of the problem. Getting his fiber. Y'all part of the problem because y'all egging that foolishness on. Y'all egging that foolishness on. Nobody want to call in 862-799-9956. Go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I will go look at the State of the Union address, see what other lies will be told. Heard it was rich in vitamin C. Does that C stand for cardboard? Is that what that C stand for? Vitamin C, the cardboard? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know, man. That's my take. Again, I'm tired of hearing about these players. As I kind of wrap this deal up, I guess I'm tired of these players fighting for additional years. To me, at some point, I think the NCAA has lost all of its power. I think the NCAA, when they kind of get that I don't care attitude and just pushed all their chips in the table, in the middle of the table, and say, "Hey, I'm done," whatever. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but anyhow, they lost all their power because everything now is being voted on or being challenged and being sued and this, that, and the other. And now, what's happening with NCAA? They can't fight all of that. Another person or people that I blame are the coaches. At some point, coach, you got to let it go. But I also understand because you want to win. You got to keep your job. If I could get a Trinidad Chambers back, if I'm a Tony Elliott and I can get a Chandler Morris back, hell, why not? Why not go in there and tell the family when I'm recruiting the kid, yeah, he's leaving you as a boy. I'm going to send him back as a man. No, that was a lie. You're going to send him back as a grandfather. He's going to be in the league in college so doggone long, he's going to be a granddaddy. Coach, what do you think about the roast last night? I actually thought it was funny. I actually got to give Mario Cristobal some credit. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on the Canes Talk Live show, but I got to give Mario Cristobal some credit. He loosened up a little bit, loosened up his tie. He had a routine. I loved it. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But, I don't know if Kirby Smart was with him, but they know each other. I think they coached at Alabama together. Maybe they did. Yeah, they did. So they know each other. But even if he didn't, that's my coach. Damn a Georgia Bulldog. Nobody cares. Nobody cares whatsoever. Oh, see, I didn't see it, Jason. It says Kirby shot first. I just saw the snippet of Coach Cristobal talking about Carson Beck and all that. That's how you coach him and all that stuff. So I don't know what was said. Shout out to Malachi Tony. What he won the freshman award. Couldn't get on the stage though. I don't know. But anyway, hey man, we live. We got the phone line open. The thing says call in show. Ain't nobody called in. I get it. I understand, man. Football season over. It's a little slow. You want to chill. I know some of y'all laying in the bed right now at 9:19 Eastern Standard Time, trying to be quiet because your wife be like, football season over. I don't hear nothing else about it. And turn that damn Coach Hayes football off. I understand. I want to bring this. Oh, what was the question they asked me earlier? And they asked me, and I said I would address it. What was it was a lady's name, Design, something Design. And she asked me to bring it up. Here we go. Oh, the Teddy Bridgewater. I'll talk about that real quick for Ebron. Talk on it. Ebron called in. Perfect. By Design says, I'm in South Florida. You've seen the new Teddy Bridgewater law. Coaches give up the $15,000 to own money players with no problem. I'll just say this quickly why I disagree with it. I disagree because, first of all, coaches are not making any money. And I have to say this. To me, it's a cop-out, and it takes the accountability and the responsibility away from the school districts. You're asking a coach who probably makes $4,000 a year. That's what I was making. As the head football coach was $4,000 a year. That was my stipend. That wasn't my salary from the school, but that was my stipend. To basically have the opportunity to go in your pocket and pay for transportation, pay for meals, and so forth and so on. To me, that would be the equivalent of asking the college football coach to go in his pocket and pay for the meals and the transportation for summer workouts for his kids that come in the summer. I don't think it's the responsibility, and I appreciate coaches that do it. I did it myself. I'm just as guilty. But my whole push was I think that was an easy cop-out for the school districts. That was an easy fix, make everybody feel good. And the reason I say that is because there are some coaches who can do more for their team than others. Teddy Bridgewater was blessed to play in the NFL, have a couple extra dollars, and he could do that. But it does create an unfair advantage for other teams. It really does. I think there should have been a $15,000 budget given to all schools for that purpose. I.e., activity bus. We used to have an activity bus. I.e., meals in the summer. These kids are coming to perform for your school. They are putting your school on the map. We're not talking about the private schools, the St. Thomas, the IMGs. We're talking about public schools. They are putting your school on the map, and you're telling the coach, I'm not saying he has to, but he can. Well, that almost become a voluntold. Because you know what a principal is going to say? Hey, coach, I ain't got no money. If you want to pay for it, please feel free. You know, you're not going to get in trouble. So, yeah, if you want to pay for, the meals when the kids come to summer workouts and do all the summer workouts, activities and everything, oh, yeah, please feel free. You can buy as much pizza as you want. I don't think that's the responsibility of the coach. I think that's the responsibility of the institution, which is the school district. Everybody doesn't have a booster club. They don't. Everybody doesn't have a strong booster club like you think. You know what I mean? So that's why, I can appreciate it. I like the fact that the rule is there. So if a coach has to come out of his pocket, he's not worried about losing his job. But I still think it's a mask to a bigger problem. It's a feel-good law. It's a feel-good. It makes you feel good, so you kind of forget about the real problem, is that these programs are underfunded. And that's why, especially in Florida, a lot of coaches are leaving, good coaches, and leaving and going to other states like Georgia and Texas and Arkansas and Alabama and so forth, Louisiana, Tennessee. Because they don't have to worry about that. I'm going to just say this, Ebron, I'm coming, brother. Name another, it might be not right way to say it. Name a place where football is king. Football is king in Florida, but it's not treated that way. Where the high school coach is coming out of his pocket paying for a meal, not like a one-time deal. He's paying for Uber rides to get his kids to school so they can work out. And again, I'm not mad at Teddy Bridgewater. I totally get why he did it. I did it myself. But I'm saying that should not be on the coach. That should be budgeted through the institutions, through the district, for all of their schools. Because here's the problem. When you have a football game, the athletic department want to take the hot dog money, the gate money, because you got to fund all the other programs. I'm not trying to be funny, but girls volleyball costs money. But girls volleyball doesn't generate revenue. I'm talking about high school. It doesn't. And that's at most schools. The soccer team is not a revenue generating sport. The badminton team is not a revenue generating sport. So who funds that? The gate at the football game, the hot dog sales, the hamburger sales. But high school football has kind of become year round, where you got to, like we used to practice. We gave them all the way up off after this after Christmas break. You gave them off until after Martin Luther King Monday. That Tuesday we back at it for spring workout conditioning. So I think it's a feel-good bill in law. Bowling, $0. It can actually cost you money. You actually in the red. Thank you, Edward. Yeah, the bowling team. Let me ask you, anybody in the chat, come on now, and I want y'all to be honest. Anybody in the chat that was not on the bowling team ever went watch their high school team bowl? Huh? But you know what it costs you? It costs your bowling team the lanes and stuff like that to practice. Shout out to Elwood. That's a good one. Right. Football is king. All programs are paid from football. Steve, what's up with you, baby? Appreciate it. All right, let me get E. Brown on the line, man. We're going to chop it up a little bit. We don't, like I said, we're going to be here a long time. E. Brown in the building. What's up with you, baby?
What's up, Coach?
Good, man. How you feeling?
I think that we're backwards because athletics is just like driving. Driving is not a law; it's a privilege.
Okay.
Getting a driver's license is not a law; it's a privilege. Playing high school athletics is a privilege. The number one concern, I don't think you need to put that onus on the schools to fund a privileged program. The number one priority for a school is learning. And how see athletics, if you want to excel in athletics, you got to excel in school. So if you start funding athletics just solely so you can play football, you're not going to concentrate on what you're going to school for. Again, it's a privilege. It's not a law. I can understand you developing a rule or a law that will prevent a coach from losing his job for trying to inspire a kid to concentrate on something that he's going to excel in. But you can't put that onus on the school. You can't make the school or the educational department feel guilty because they're not giving $15,000 stipend to the coaches to share with the football team. Mm-hmm. If you get what I mean. That's one of the gone too far topics. I know I'm going to the bottom, starting at the bottom, but that's the going too far topic.
Okay, if you don't mind, can I respond?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you why I highly disagree. What is the purpose of school?
You want the answer? Or?
Yes, I'm asking. What is the purpose of school, of high school?
The purpose of school is to give because it's lawfully mandated that you got to go to school to learn.
Okay.
Okay.
But what's the purpose of it? I get why you have to go, but what's its purpose?
It is to give you an opportunity or give you the insight on how life is going to be when you reach a certain stage in your life.
Okay.
Athletics.
No, I'm not asking about that. What is the purpose of school?
Okay. All right. It's a learning atmosphere. It's for learning and educating yourself.
Okay.
That's what it's for.
Now, my second question is, in athletics, does athletics give you those same type of lessons that you get in the chemistry class, in science class, math class, reading, language arts, band, phys ed, and any other question? Do you get those same type of things?
No, because athletics gives you, number one, it gives you physical prowess. Second, it gives you, it teaches you it teaches you teamwork. It teaches you to be courteous.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that athletics will teach you. That's what you get out of athletics. Because you could be a great athlete, but at some point your athletic prowess is going to go away. But if you get a good education, that'll last you a lifetime.
Okay. So you brought up something. You're talking about how to work in groups. Do you know one of the methodologies in teaching? One of the top highest methodologies in teaching is?
I mean, you open up Pandora's box. You could rattle off a lot of things.
Okay, I'll start with one. Groups. I'll even read this off. It's a powerful, highly effective tool for increasing student engagement, promoting critical thinking, and boosting knowledge retention through collaborative, active learning. It fosters social skills, allows for differentiated instruction, and encourages diverse perspectives, right? The success requires structure, purposeful design that ensures positive interdependence and individual accountability. That's in regards to the academic part. And that same definition falls true in football. People having to come together, use their individual skills, collaborate to come up with a common answer to achieve a common goal. And you're learning by your peers. But where I disagree is, and you sound like an old assistant principal I had, where she didn't like sports, right? She didn't like sports. You know why she didn't like sports? Because she thought of it the same way you thought of it. People just out there running and throwing a ball. On the surface, that's
well, no. I go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what it looks like.
I'll rebut.
Okay, that's fine. That's what it looks like on the surface. But that's what school is all about. School is all about learning, the social aspect, all of those things. And here's what I'll tell you. The reason why I said it should be, the onus of that should be on the school is because you're doing a school activity. You are doing something that helps put your school in a different light. When you win, when you play big games, those things help, as well as it generates money for academics as well. Let's not get it twisted. It definitely generates money so people can buy books. Trust me. $10,000 came out of my budget one year to buy some band instruments, a tuba and some trombones. So I hear you, but also without it, because we have to understand entertainment is a big thing. And that back to the assistant principal, she was like, well, I don't know why people pay all that money to go watch people play sports. I said the same reason why you paid $800 to go watch Beyonce jump around and talk about single ladies, because you want to be entertained. And so I'm saying all this to say that I believe that sports is a pivotal part in the education process because it teaches you a lot. A lot of people get hired in the workforce because they play sports that involve groups. I know what you do for a living and I won't say, but I guarantee a lot of the people that you work with participated in athletics, and it helps y'all work together to achieve a common goal. And with that being said, E. Brown, that also shows leadership that you won't get in a classroom. Where are your leadership qualities? How do you know who's the leader in the science room? Unless you put them in groups, unless they know how to lead, unless they've been taught how to be a leader. See, a lot of people have leadership qualities, but they don't know how to lead. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Okay. I listen. Your soliloquy was great. It was a great soliloquy.
Well, thank you.
Okay, but I don't want to be classified as someone who hates sports.
I understand.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that sports will take those students, especially those athletically talented students who are challenged academically. It makes them concentrate more on their academics.
There you go.
When they know that if they excel in sports, in order to excel in sports and go further in sports, you gotta excel academically. So they kind of work both hand in hand.
There you go.
But the thing about it is that only 10% of your, maybe 10 to 15% of your school makeup can participate in athletic events in a what was it, a Power 5 type atmosphere, if you understand what I'm saying.
I get it.
So, but you know, it's one of those things, like you said, it teaches you camaraderie, leadership. It also makes you, it encourages you to educate yourself, because education will outlast athletic powers. It's going to outlast you. It'll last you throughout your life.
And I don't disagree whatsoever. But what I think a lot of people are missing the point is athletics can become the bridge to a lot of people who are doing great things. Like I told you, just went to a surprise birthday party for my mentor. And some of our former players were there. And I can say this with 100% certainty. If it wasn't for that brown ball, they would not be in the position they're in. And it has nothing to do with NFL.
Well, that's true.
Only one dude that was at that event played in the NFL. Super proud of him. But the other ones, you know what the common thing was? Hey, coach, man, I appreciate you, boy. Man, da. See, what people have to understand is athletics is just what they are. And you say there's a very small percentage, but what you have to understand is this. The small percent of people who play athletics influence many. Here's why I say this. To all my principals out there, people that want to be principals, and maybe you're trying to get into the admin pool, I don't know. But I can give you a bona fide fact. When we were at Norland was an F school. The year we went to run, we ran the state run, we were a C school. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to give a big shout out. I hope he's listening. A big shout out to used to be Principal Greg Bethune at Miami Central. I believe he's now in the district. I don't know what capacity, but I know he's in the district of Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Shout out to him. Also, shout out to a person named Steve Gallen, who used to be the principal at Miami Northwestern. He understood the value of sports. And there are many others. Steve Gallen will end up being a school board member and something else, other things. They understood the value of what sports and athletics did. And if a principal truly understands how important football is and don't fight it and embrace it and use it to motivate their school, it makes them look better as well. See, don't just give kids potato chips and tell them to feel good. I don't know why the camera going up. Don't just give them potato chips and make them feel great. See, people want to reward kids like that, but instead, why not use your kids to motivate other kids and everybody win? That's the problem right now, is that people, and then I'm not saying this about you, Ebron, I'm just talking in general here, is that people are so quick to turn sports off because they don't understand it, instead of saying, hey, let me find out, how can I use this to motivate my other students? We end up finishing that thing as a C school, and here's why. Because kids start coming to school. Kids start having pride about their school. Kids wanted to be in school because it was the hottest thing. And the blessing thing about football is it starts the school year off. It motivates. And that's something that Willie Turner, our principal at that time, understood. Greg Bethune understood. Steve Gallen understood. And I can say many others. Those are just my examples. Greg Bethune was the principal at Central. Look at what Central has done and all of that stuff. I guarantee, bro, they even had Barack Obama at the school because they turned the doggone thing around so much. And I guarantee if you do a study, it's because of how well the football team was doing.
History has proven that, because remember, students paid the high price to attend the University of Miami because of how well the football team was playing.
Fair.
History has proven that.
Mm-hmm.
But in no way am I belittling sports.
No, I
sports
agree with
is
you.
very, very important.
I agree with you.
It's very important, man. But I think that what happens is that sometimes we take the important thing, like what you do for a living. I'm not going to say what you do for a living should be much more rewarded than some guy running down the football field at 4.4 speed. If you know understand what I'm saying.
Listen, 1,000%. But here's what I will say in rebut to that, to kind of counter my own self. We don't make $200 million a year in revenue. That's the problem. That's the issue. Right? Because sports and entertainment, think about it, it's sports and entertainment. It's hand in hand. It's the football player, the basketball player, the baseball player is no different than Beyonce, is no different than Jay-Z, is no different than Drake, no different than any of these guys out here. You have a skill that entertains the people. Unfortunately.
Well, let me pose this question to you, then, Coach.
I would just say,
why is that?
Why is that? Because everybody has the aptitude to be entertained. Everybody doesn't have the aptitude to sit down and listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about astrophysics. That's why. It's just that simple. Everybody can laugh at a joke. Everybody can look, and because entertainment is fun. Astrophysics is fun to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, not me. But entertainment is fun. Let me ask you this. You work hard all week long, right?
Go ahead.
What would you like to do to entertain yourself? It's Saturday.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Exactly what you're talking about.
You ain't picking up a physics book. Why aren't you picking up a physics book on global warming? It ain't fun.
But there are a lot of people. But there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who actually do that.
But not as many.
I think.
Yeah, but not as many as people that turned in to the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any studies that have been done about it, but hey, I mean, I can go with what you're saying because we see it. We see it on a yearly basis. We see it on a yearly basis. I mean, like right now, like you said earlier, you understand why no one's calling in because the football season is over with.
There you go.
Okay, football season is over with. We're in a down period, and I tell you, man, when college football and NFL is going on during the last 4 months of the year, that is the most exciting period of the year for a lot of people.
Of course.
When the last championship games are played, it's like, oh man, what the heck am I gonna do for entertainment? You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct about that. But I just wanted to just touch upon that.
No, of course.
And just to bring that to the
Brown.
forefront.
Brown, watch this.
Talk about it.
I'm finna throw a big wedge in it right now. You ready? I'm finna throw a wedge. Watch this. Before I do that, shout out to Katie. She says sports can teach life lessons. Very true. It teaches hard work, perseverance, how to win, how to lose. Yes. How to face and overcome adversity. Yes. And the list goes on. Yes. That is something that you don't face in a classroom.
So can education. Education can do the same thing.
Yes, but it doesn't.
Education does the same thing.
Yeah, but it's a different realm.
And it can affect. And it can affect everybody for 60 to 70, 80 years.
Fair enough. And I think both can coexist. But the difference is, right? And here's the thing, especially about sports. It's something you want to do versus something you have to do. You just said that it's mandated that kids go to school. That's something they have to do. They don't have to play football. So why not take something they want to do and incorporate the same thing educationally, and then it has the overlap effect into the classroom? See, to your point, I think we're both agreeing, but I think I understand, I think you do too as well, but I'm just talking, that sports, for most people, not all people, because everybody just don't get sports, no problem. But for most people, there is a reason every Saturday there's 100,000 people in stadiums across this country watching 22 people run into each other full speed. There's a reason, because we've been doing it since the gladiator days. It's competition. Competition. Real quick. You can ask me, competition. In the classroom, it's a lot of individualism. You may roke in group, but on your report card, it has E. Brown, F. Right? On that scoreboard, it says what? Miami Hurricanes lost. That's all y'all. And so to Katie's point, it does teach that. It does teach adversity. It does.
But Coach.
Go ahead.
Coach.
Talk to me.
The thing about it is that what allows you to go to these events on the weekend? What allows you to go there?
There you go. Your work.
The thing that what allows you to go there to spend the money to watch that event is what you learn in the classroom. Which is education.
That is fair.
Whether it's from a technical standpoint or whether it's from the book itself. In order for you to go to an event to enjoy it, you've got to be educated enough to get yourself employed, to make you money, to go to the event.
That's a fair statement. I agree with
You
that 10,000.
just can't. You just can't go. You just can't go sit under the shade tree all week and go, okay, I'm gonna go to the national championship game. No.
Well, I don't know about that now.
It don't work like
I know
that.
some boys sit on the shade tree all week, and they got plenty of money. If you know what I'm saying. However, E. Brown, this is what my wrinkle is. I know I shouldn't do this, but whatever. Here we are. There are people every Sunday will go into the house of the Lord and not pay their tithes, but they pay $4,000 for a Super Bowl ticket.
However, you got to remember.
Hold on. I'm trying to be messy right quick. I'm trying to be messy. I'm just saying. When people,
wait a minute. I'm going to tell you, paying tithes and offerings don't always center around money.
I know.
It center around the time. It center around the time that you spend.
True.
In church.
That's true.
It can center around the time that you spend doing what God has ordained you to do, which is to love everybody and champion His cause.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sit all sit around. Everything doesn't sit around money.
That's
when
fair.
It comes to tithing and offering.
That is fair. I was just trying to say.
You remember the story in the Bible where the lady only gave 1 cent,
mm-hmm.
and Jesus brought her to the forefront more so than the person who gave thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So it does sit around. It does sit around all the time.
I agree. I was just talking about the priority of, man, I don't know, I ain't got it. That's all I was saying. I was being messy. However, I totally get what you're saying.
I know you ain't. No, but to go too far. Hey, listen, I want to
too far.
I've
gone too far. I went too far.
If I see another young lady walking out in the public with those headbands on their head, I think that I'm gonna. I don't know. That's gone too far.
Well, guess what, E. Brown? If she was on the basketball team, her coach would have instilled certain things about what? Personal grooming and self-respect that the chemistry teacher ain't going to teach her. So maybe if that young lady was involved in sports, maybe the coach, who was probably a little bit more influential than Miss Johnson's third period reading class, would have instilled certain things. For example, we used to wear suits on Monday to let the kids know it's a business week. What did that mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We did that for 2 reasons. 1, for a mindset, but 2, to get them used to putting on the right kind of clothes and how to wear clothes. And 3, we had the influence because we were the coaches, because remember, they were doing something they wanted to do. So those kind of guys have power. Coaches, have power over their student athletes more than the teachers. And that is exactly why teachers call the coach when the player is supposed to be acting up in class.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
Somebody
That's
put that
exactly
on the shirt.
Right. And also, coach, the Mendoza no throw and the Bain skipping the Senior Bowl.
Uh-huh.
I know QB Kane made a comment saying that it was being soft.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not being soft. That's being smart.
Okay.
The education makes you smart, because if you're smart, you go, listen, I've already reached that pinnacle. I'm not going to go and participate in a Senior Bowl where I can get my knee blown out, and I lose opportunity to make generational money for myself and my family.
They play high school sports, right?
You don't have to participate in those events, in those things, if you're already there.
There you go.
You know, if you're already there, I just don't see the sense in playing in the Senior Bowl when you are projected to be one of the top players picked in the first round to make generational monies for you and your family. And you go out there and you blow your knee out, or your vertebrae, you go out and you injure your vertebrae where you can't play football at all. You can't play any more contact sports.
Mm-hmm.
Get your money first, and then take the chance.
Listen, 1,000%. 1,000%. But I can tell you this. Athletics have opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people that they would not even have the opportunity to walk to the door and knock on. You got players that have opportunities. You have that little brown ball or round white ball or basketball, whatever, has, to your point, given generational wealth to a lot of people who on the other side may not have had those opportunities. Here's something else I'll say. I'll never forget this. Working at the school I was at, Chris Johnson, the running back, Chris Johnson from the Tennessee Titans, was an alumni of that school. And those people there were like, the way in which they talked about him was awful. Look how he talked. Look how he, yeah. Bourgeoisie, if you understand me. And I remember telling them one day, they were like, look how he talked. Yeah. You know what I told him one day? He didn't grow up to be a public speaker, a football player. Just like you didn't grow up to be a football player. Everybody has a certain skill set in this world. And that was his gift. That was his gift. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't have education to go along with it, by all means. However, that was his gift. And
but education doesn't necessarily make you a good public speaker.
Fair enough, right. But I'm just talking about how people perceive sports and athletes. They think everybody's the dumb jock. Everybody's the this, the that. You know, they talk about R. Kelly in the sense of he was dyslexic and illiterate, but wrote some of the best songs in the world, the most talent in the world, right? He found a way to cope and deal with it in that regard. I don't know about his money and all that stuff, but I'm just saying. We were just talking about people.
Well, I remember now, I understand flunk elementary and with middle school.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it goes hand in hand. It does go hand in hand.
It does.
And again, I'm not belittling sports because I think sports is very, very important, and it has played a major role historically especially for the African American community, because there's only several things that bring everybody together. Sports happens to be one of those things. Mm-hmm. Sports, music, food, and love.
And
those are the things that bring everybody
together. One more,
together.
And tragedy. Tragedy brings people together, unfortunately.
You know? But if you look at it nowadays, I mean, when certain people go through tragic events, mm-hmm. Nowadays you have people come on, they'll make fun of it, make fun of the person who's going through tragic.
Yeah. But when I'm talking about right, but I'm speaking of like for example, I had never seen America more unified until 9/11 happened. I have to be honest. The State of the Union address is on right now. Right now, it's up here. I can't hear it because I got it muted, but it's on. But at that particular time, And I say, when you look at politics, it's no different than sports. Democrat, Republicans ain't no different than hurricanes in Florida State. Right? But, but
I mean,
if one of us, well, I don't know, Florida State may not do it, but most people, like, it's just like that. And that's the life lesson that sports teaches you too. The competitive nature of things, right? And it's the same thing. Everybody want to double down because everybody wants to be right. But when tragedy happens, people come together. Now, people naturally will go back to their natural state, as if you see we currently are right now. Just like when people pass, what's the first thing everybody says at the repass? Come on now, Ebron. I'm going to see if I'm going to snatch your card from you. What's the first thing somebody going to stand up and say at the repass?
I mean, sure. I don't know what I got to keep my card. Is it anything to do with food?
No.
What?
What? Y'all know we got to do better than this. We got to get together more often instead of times like this.
Oh yeah, okay.
Everybody says that, but tragedy brought everybody together. The passing of someone brought cousins and nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles you ain't seen in years. I'm just saying, because to your point, I was just adding tragedy to what you were saying. Sports bring people together.
Yeah, I get it. You're absolutely correct about that. Yeah. Tragedies throughout history has brought the communities, no matter what community you're in, tragedies have brought those communities together. You know, even if it's for a fleeting moment, it happens.
Sure.
You know, so hey, listen, we got off your topic, off your show topic, but
that's all good.
We did keep it sports related.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to get the mingle of sports in with everyday life and so on and so forth. But I just think that those things that are seem to be important to us, we tend to put that to the forefront. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm gonna say it again. Your profession should be receiving $200,000 to $300,000 a year.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know, it's just amazing that we utilize the school system as our babysitter, as the entity that's supposed to raise our kids for us, and then you will have parents that will show up at your school and then try to belittle you when little Johnny with his bad butt start acting up.
Mm-hmm. But that goes back to my going too far moment, because we don't tell people no. We go in and say, "You're right, ma'am. Johnny was acting up. You know what? That teacher should build a rapport with him. How the hell I'm gonna build a rapport with a dude just threw a chair at me? You lucky my knuckles ain't rebuild a rapport with his face." But again, that's because everybody's in a CYA society. We don't tell people no. Ma'am, you cannot come into the school building with the rollers in your hair with no bra on in a doggone house dress.
Right.
No, you can't do that, man. Instead, what do? Come right on back, ma'am. See, I know I couldn't have never been a principal. I have to be honest. I wouldn't have made it. I've been fired I would have been in the world record book of the quickest hired and fired principal ever. I would have been fired before the last bell ring of the school day. There's certain things that we're just not going to allow. But again, what do people say? I ain't seen none. I got to keep my job. Right? And that's the problem.
But the question, but the $1 million question is, why is that? Why do we allow that to happen?
Because
as
we
a
don't
society,
tell
why
people,
do we allow it?
Because we don't tell people no. Because everybody
you said it earlier about sports. Because entertaining. It's entertaining to see that bad behavior, to see that stuff.
No, we allow it. I'm gonna tell you why we allow it. Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. I'm not worried about that lady coming in here. I gotta get my check. We could talk about No Child Left Behind, and you could leave all of them back there. It sounds good. The world is talking in sound bites now. All of that stuff. But see, the problem is nobody wants to stand on the podium and be the trailblazer. I say this all the time about teachers, especially here in Orlando. If every teacher decided to walk out, and see, they put things in place like, you can't strike. But anyway, if every teacher walked out on a Friday in Central Florida, do you know by Tuesday you can have whatever you wanted? By Tuesday, we can have whatever we wanted. And you know why that is? You know why?
Why?
Because you just said it. That we babysitting. And without the teachers, guess who can't go to work? Employees. The employees of Disney, the employees of Universal, the employees of the hotel, the employees of all these big corporations around here. Somebody got to stay home. So guess what? Disney will put money in to pay teachers' salaries so they can get employees back to work. I'm just telling you.
I mean, it's like it's the old saying. If a bully takes your money, your lunch money on a Monday, what makes you think they ain't gonna take it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday?
Until you do what? Step up. I'm gonna play something
because
right
we allow it.
I'm gonna play
because we allow it because we don't wanna harm anybody's feelings.
1,000%. I'm gonna play something right quick, E. Brown. I think you can hear it. And you asked me about the school system and why that is. And I'm gonna play this for you right now. And you let me know what you think when you said, why is that? I'm gonna play this, and then we could go into the other two topics and we'll close it out. But I want to play this for you. Something I heard a long time ago. Check this out.
The reason why we're so pleased to have the covenant, and this is the best part of our action plan, is to reclaim the minds of our children. They went into the black homes now, the powers that be, and told us that you cannot discipline your children anymore. And if you discipline your children, you were going to jail. It's this kind of thing they told us. Then they went into the public schools and took discipline out of there. So when we acted up in there, they put our boys, our black men, into something called special ed classes. And as you know, those special ed classes are nothing but holding cells until they can go to the state prison. But this is what they did. And then, the one thing that they knew, that if we can put them in prison, if we can have them convicted for a felony, then once they get out of prison, they cannot get a job because of that. They cannot get the job. And then if they happen to eke out and find a job, then they have to pay taxes on a job, yet they cannot vote, and I call that taxation without representation. That's what we're looking at. And if one of the things that we would learn to do, they did a grand thing when they took that discipline away from us, because when they made our parents afraid to discipline the children, then what happened? We found out that the teachers were afraid of the principals were scared of the superintendents was scared of the school board was scared of the parents were scared of the children, and the children ain't scared of nobody.
And that sums up your question right there. The teacher's scared of the teacher's scared of the principal. The principal scared of the superintendent. Superintendent scared of the school board. School board scared of the parents. The parents scared of the kids, and the kids ain't scared of nobody. And that sums it up right there. because you took our mechanism out, discipline. And that doesn't mean beating children and spanking them, but any form of discipline. You can't even suspend kids today like that for doing things. I'm gonna be very vague. And see, right there, I gotta be very vague because I gotta protect my best interest. I can't even sit on here and talk freely because if somebody see it, Coach, can you come to my office, please? Why?
Well,
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you ask me why? It's because now I don't curse on here because of that.
Yep.
I curse like a sailor. You've been offline with me before, E. Brown.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, these are the things that happens. You can't even suspend the children. You get so many days. You got to ration suspensions.
But you got to remember about one thing about cursing, especially in the position that you hold and some of us hold, is that you can't in a strange sense tell kids how good they are. I saw Katie mention about saying that a coach told her when she was 5 foot tall. You can't have words coming out of your mouth that give people praise, and then in the next sentence you start saying the curse words because it contradicts everything.
Sure.
So you gotta always let. That's why this you're not cursing on the air resonates with a lot of people, because if you were cursing all the time on the air, I'll turn you off.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And to me, it doesn't make the show better. Right? I know this is gonna sound crazy. I said the same thing about music. I had never heard nobody say, "Boy, that song better because he said F that." Like, you know what I mean? Real quick, I do want to read Cardi. I saw this. Katie says, "I'm 5 foot." All right, Katie, you up there. "I was only good at one sport, but a coach said something that stuck with me to this day. How tall is your effort? How tall is your want to? That applies to everything." Yeah, it's the mindset. And I guarantee, Katie, if your language arts teacher said that to you, when the stuck is deep. I guarantee it. But nah, that's much love. All right. Thank you. Said she brought the sport. No, yeah, Dr. Julia Hare. And the funny thing about it, that was a long time. I think it was 2006 that was. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I think that was said at some kind of convention. 20 years ago, bro. Still fit true today. But anyway, all right, go ahead, man. What's the last two? Oh, what about UVA coach getting a 7th year, E. Brown? Talk to me. I mean, not coach, but quarterback. Chandler Morris.
The UVA quarterback getting a 7 year to play football. I mean, we just spent about an hour talking about the importance of how sports plays a pivotal part in some people's lives. How you now, as a college learned atmosphere or learned, you're going to teach those who have the talent the importance of sticking by your guns and sticking with what you want to do. Then you wouldn't just throw them out without giving him or her the opportunity to complete the 7 year. Let him play the 7th year.
But what?
Let him play the 7th year.
But why?
You know.
But, hold on. Here's my argument. Everybody walks in having 5 to play 4, right?
True.
Everybody knows that injury is inevitable. Chandler Morris, I want you to, maybe you don't know the story. This is his argument. Chandler Morris filed a lawsuit against the NCAA in Charlottesville Circuit Court in an attempt to play in 2026, his 7th college football season. The 25-year-old Morris took the legal step after the NCAA formally denied his medical redshirt request to recoup an additional season of eligibility in early January. I'm trying to go to what he was saying. Okay, here we go. Morris started 14 games for the Cavs as a 6-year. Okay, that's not what. Okay, here we go. 14 games, graduate senior in 2025, throwing 3,000 yards and 16 touchdowns, whatever. The 25-year-old Morris landed at Virginia following an offseason transfer from North Texas, where he started 13 games while throwing for a career-high 3,700. Cool. Here's where it's getting interesting. That followed a 3-year stint at TCU, 3 years at TCU, where Morris played just 15 games during his injury-plagued tenure in Fort Worth between 21 and 23. Morris said the season with the Horned Frogs were cut short due to injuries, limiting him to just 4 games in each season. Morris attorneys argue the 22 season in which he missed 7 games after suffering a knee injury in the season opener, only to lose his starting job to backup Max Duggan. Again, I hear that. I get that. I understand that. But unfortunately, that's what it is. That's why they give you 5 years to play 4. And my problem with this is he has enough. See, my problem with it is he has enough football on tape to identify who he is as a player. Chandler Morris, Trinidad Chambers, and a lot of these guys. Hell, even Carson Beck. I hate to say this. Even Cam Ward. They came back to improve their draft stock, not because they were hurt. If their draft stock was high, you wouldn't hear about this. If Chandler Morris right now was going to be the first or second overall pick, he wouldn't be talking about, I got hurt my first 4 seasons.
That is true.
Right.
That's true. However, he's playing within the rules of the game.
But he's not.
The rules of the game are already been.
Oh, he's suing.
I thought you said he was injured. I thought he said he was injured.
No, he was injured.
3 years.
He was injured. The NCAA denied him. So now he said, I'm going to go tell my mama, which is the judge. Right?
Right.
The rules state you have 5 years to play 4.
Okay. But if the thing is that if you're going to stick by that, then stick by it. Well, recently we've seen players getting extended opportunities to participate in college sports 7, 8, 9 years into their graduation from high school.
Because they're suing, because you have to remember the NCAA is denying them. They're going over the NCAA's head to the court to reinstate them. So it's like, to me, it's no different than your wife says, no, E. Brown Jr. And he says, all right, Daddy, I go to the movies with my girlfriend. Sure, son, go right ahead. You just cut the knees from up under your wife who made a ruling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, that analogy is, yeah, okay, I get your point. But the thing about it is that if the wife and the husband have established a rule, then you got to abide by the rules that you've established.
And that's the point. And the judge is not. The judge is not.
If you're going to cherry pick who you're going to allow to do things against the rules that you set, then you should expect the person to go tell mommy, in this case, the judge. You should expect that to happen. And that's the reason why this guy is doing that, because he's seen others get by the rules that's set,
I get it.
And he thinks that now they're being unfair to him, so he's going to take it to a higher decisive factor, which is the court system, to make a decision on it. He's playing by the rules. Those are the rules.
No, but let me ask you this, E. Brown. How does the court get involved in, I mean, I know it's state, I guess, state schools or whatever, but how is the court involved in you getting additional time? I'm not understanding. I guess I don't understand how the courts get involved in this.
Because the NCAA and the schools have developed contracts with college participants that if you get injured, you can be extended for additional years. So when contracts and laws and rules and policies and regulations are broken, your only alternative is to take it to the courts. And the courts, which is a neutral entity, will listen to your argument and then make a legal decision that everybody has to abide by. So if this guy is saying you're treating me differently than you treated the other quarterbacks because you're not following the same guidelines and principles that you set for all of us to follow. So you wrong me, so I have to go to the next alternative, which is the courts. And when the courts make the final decision, guess what? That's the final decision. He has no alternative.
And you know the sad part about it? This is what's ruining the integrity of this sport. This kind of stuff is ruining. Bro, you're ruining. Bro, you're 25, dog. You were 18 when you were there. And
what does that got to do with anything? What does his age got to do with anything?
Oh, LMV actually said something great. Well, that was about the combine. I think you're eligible because you talk about education. Your education, if you want extensions, you better have some degrees that go with it. If you're in your 7th year of college football, you better have more than a master's degree, dog. You better be. I'm just saying. Because hell, it's only 8 years to be how long is it? 8 years for the pharmacy program?
Yep. I agree.
Hold on. How long is the pharmacy program? Let me see.
It's like about 8 years, isn't it?
At FAMU. How long is the pharmacy program at FAMU? Oh, it says 4 years. The Orlando campus is a 4-year advanced degree program. Well, okay. So what is it? It's 4 years undergrad, then 4 years pharmacy?
Yeah, well, you gotta be a pharmacy technician training on an actual pharmacist.
No, but I'm just saying, if I've been in school 7 years and I walk out of there with 17 liberal arts degrees, I got an issue. I got a pure issue that you understand what I'm saying? Maybe it's me.
I mean, it's but I understand what you're saying, but if you have rules, policies in place that you're supposed to follow, then you make a decision based on those rules and policies. You don't go and cherry pick, okay, I'm gonna let this guy go, but no, I'm not gonna let this guy go. And you don't provide that person with an explanation of why you made that decision. Because it gives that person the impression that you're treating me unfairly. And the only alternative in this society, when you're treated unfairly in this country, the only alternative you have is to take it to court, to have a higher authority to make a decision on whether or not I should pursue it or I should just move on?
I don't know, bro. I just found out right here. Yes, becoming a pharmacist typically takes between 6 to 8 years total, starting from undergrad. It's 2 to 4 years in the pre-pharmacy program and another 4 years in the PharmD program. Some of these dudes should become what I'll be calling Dr. Chandler at the quarterback position.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, bro. Anyway.
Exactly. Or they could be the next Perry Mason, an attorney. They should be an attorney. I mean, they're getting a free education.
You say the same thing. Shout out to Lou. He said, law school also, if you're going to be that long. Bro, if I'm being in school that long, hell, I should be Chandler Esquire.
Yeah, I'm saying you should be well versed with how to operate as an attorney, doctor, or a pharmacist.
Bro, these dudes
after
not
7,
even
8, 9 years.
And these dudes not even going to school. Like, I'm not tripping, but I'm tripping. I just think, like, bro, it's almost like you did your time. Like, everybody remembers. Y'all ever seen the movie Van Wilder? One of the funniest movies ever. I have to be honest, this is hilarious. You probably didn't see that movie.
What's the name of this movie?
Called Van Wilder. You probably still be watching Glory and stuff like that. But anyway. Van Wilder. He was Van Wilder. It's called Van Wilder. I'm just saying, everybody remember when we was in college, you always had it. We used to call them super seniors. Them dudes that was in like their 6th year. There was the older cat. You know what I mean? They had already, like, there was a student, but, you know.
Bro, I would rather watch Daffy Duck, man. Come on, bro.
What you mean? You looked at Van Wilder?
I don't really watch Daffy Duck, man. I don't even, that's.
No, Van Wilder was hilarious, bro. National Lampoon's Van Wilder. But anyway, we always had those what we call super seniors.
And next thing you think, man?
Huh?
You Mendoza no throw? So you think Mendoza should be throwing at the combine?
No. I think the combine, like I said earlier, is only meant to devalue you. That's his only purpose, is to devalue things, right? When you talk about the top,
or coach, it could either devalue or solidify you.
I don't know. If you're a top guy, I don't need to be solidified, right? If I was Caleb Williams, who didn't throw, what do I got to prove to y'all? I was a Heisman Trophy winner. I did these things. Me throwing for the next 10 minutes at your combine, and I mess around and miss a throw, and it skip off the dirt. Y'all gonna talk about me like a fuzzy-tailed dog, right? Y'all gonna talk about me so bad, you can only devalue me. I'm already projected to be the #1 draft pick overall. So why take on that scrutiny? That's my only thing. Like, why?
Now the kid who was just cut by the Indianapolis coach who played with the Florida Gators.
About time.
He didn't participate. He didn't participate in the combines, right?
Anthony Richardson, yeah.
Yeah. He participated in the combine. I don't think he did.
Yes, he did. I'm looking at it right here. He
did?
ran a 40. Yep. I can't play it on here because they'll copyright me. But I'm looking at it right now. Anthony Richardson, full 2003 NFL Combine. And here's the thing: he just got cut by the Colts.
Yeah, he was let go by the coach.
So hold on. This is him running the 40. I'm looking at his next workout. He's doing the stand the vertical. He got a 40.5-inch vertical. He's throwing the ball. I'm skipping through it. Yeah, he's throwing passes. Listen to this. Hold on, I'm going to put this up here. This is what I be talking about. But you can't beat it. This didn't even devalue him. So he's a kid that I think had to throw. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's why he had to throw. You see that right there? Can you see that on the screen, E. Brown?
I'm looking at it. I don't see anything.
It's going to pop up here in a second. Yeah.
Okay. I see it now.
17 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions in his last 9 games in 2022. Read what's in parentheses there. 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his first 3 games in his senior year, dog. He threw no touchdowns at the University of Florida. He threw 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his first 3 games, and he was a 4th draft pick overall. And he is already cut 2 years later, or 3 years later.
But his measurables, and not only that, but there were so many so-called combine scout experts who felt like this guy's talent would have been tapped into if he had went into the NFL.
Correct.
And he was so I mean his participating in the combines literally made him a multi-millionaire.
1,000%. And that's why I said, there's 2 types of people for the combine. If you are at the top of your game, the combine will only devalue you. He wasn't at the top of his game, so he could do nothing but go up. Listen to this. I get all the measurables and all that. You were at the University of Florida, bro. You were 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in the first 3 games. Let's go pull up Florida record. Let's go pull up Florida schedule. Hold up. Who in the world did you play that you couldn't score a touchdown, bro? I want to know who on God. Bro, they started off with Utah, Kentucky, South Florida. You didn't even throw a touchdown against South Florida. And theirs was scary. How in the world y'all score 31 points and the quarterback ain't throw 1 touchdown? You scored 29 points against the number 7th ranked Utah and didn't score a touchdown. You beat them 29-26 and did not throw a touchdown, bro. In Kentucky, you lost 26-16. In Tennessee, you lost 38-33 and did not throw a touchdown. How are you scoring in the 30s and don't throw touchdowns, bro? That tell you how bad he was. That tell you how bad he was.
That slaps you all in the face, doesn't it?
Bro. And so, like you said, his going to the combine was like people falling in love with the intangibles and saying, oh, we could coach that. Look at him. He's 6'5", 6'6", 240. He can run. He's strong. We could coach that. And guess what? Most times you can't coach it, bro. Look at him. In 3 years, he's cut. He robbed them people. And I ain't mad at him. And I'm not trying to talk bad about him.
No.
I'm just saying.
He's not talking bad about him. But
I'm just saying, Anthony Richardson signing bonus. Listen to this. Anthony Richardson signed a 4-year, $33.99 million fully guaranteed rookie contract with the Indianapolis Colts, which featured a $21.72 million signing bonus paid entirely up front as the number 4 over. Bro, whoever his agent is deserve a bronze statue in front of his house.
I mean, he had everybody salivating out of the mouth when he was coming up because of his physique and his athleticism. I'm talking about the NFL scouts and the NFL itself.
Hold up, Ebron. You got me saying fake news out here now. They talking about, you sure Anthony Richardson was cut today? Let me make sure. As of February 2026, Anthony Richardson has not been officially cut by the Colts, but reports indicate his future with the team is in extreme doubt following injury-plagued, inconsistent season and the team favoring quarterback Daniel Jones. So technically, Emmett, right now, maybe not yet, but it looks.
Yeah, because I heard it today because I know the Dolphins were expressing some interest.
The Dolphins? Oh man, I'm done, man. Hey, God bless everybody. Good night. This is the Coach Hayes Football Show. Golly, what are we doing? But listen to this. This dude made $50 million, bro, in 3 years.
Yes. I mean, he's set for life, bro. He's set for life.
$50 million. Listen, they pay. This goes to show you that when I talk about these owners, this is play money for them, dog. Play. How many people would put $50 million on a dude that didn't throw a touchdown as a quarterback in the first 4 games of his senior campaign?
And it said he had 4 interceptions.
Yeah, based on this, Carson Beck should be the first pick overall. I'm being honest. Based on what he was the 4th pick overall.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, considering that the quarterback field for this year's draft is supposedly non-existent. Carson Beck should be the second quarterback taken in after Mendoza.
Anyway, I don't know, bro.
What are you doing, man? You looking at the starters?
No, I was looking at the TV right here in front of me. I was looking at this guy's State of the Union. People got up clapping. I'm like, what are they clapping for? But anyway, I got the TV right. I know it looked like I'd be looking straight into the ceiling, but the TV right over here, over the screen. But anyway,
bro. Yeah. But hey, listen, good topic. I mean, good conversation, that Coach.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you.
Man. I don't know what the listening audience thought about your show topics, your hot topics, but tomorrow night should be pretty doggone good. Talking about the Miami Hurricane.
Yeah, boy. Hey, I'm surprised we didn't get there yet. We did a little bit. Hold tight on the line. Listen, appreciate everybody on here right now. Thank y'all so much for coming through. I know it's a little slow up here. We never broke 100 with all 3 platforms combined. We didn't even break 100 not one time. We at 96 right now. Can we get to 100? Can we get to 100? Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. Huh? Can we get to 100? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your wife, turn that cooking show off right quick. Right? Turn off Love and Hip Hop right quick. And let's get to 100 right quick before we get up out of here. But while I'm doing that,
get to 100. Get to 100.
We had
get 100 likes, views, or whatever you call it.
I said 100. No, not just 100. No, it went down to 93. Anyway, man, for real, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all tough on old Coach out here in these streets, and I love it, man. Appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Thank y'all. Tomorrow we'll be talking Canes Talk Live.
Hey, Dub, I know you out there listening, man. Why you didn't call me, man? What's going on with you, Dub?
Yeah, Dub over there, he got to be quiet, man. You know, you got to lay in the bed.
Yeah, he got to be quiet. I forgot.
Yeah.
He is kind of beta there. You know, he is kind of beta.
Hey, some men run their house,
some
men run around their house, man. That's all I can tell you. But
you got to go to the garage. You got to go to the garage to talk to us. I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, we out of here, man.
Hey,
Peace. Appreciate y'all.
Good night, Coach, man.
Good night, man. Make my funk the P-funk. I want to get funked up.